All right, to our next conversation now. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigerians spent $40 billion in education and medical tourism in 10 years. And recently, the federal government and African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, committed to a $1 billion partnership to revolutionize Nigeria's healthcare. Let's get a sense of how to galvanize Africa's health sector. Joining us for this conversation is Brooks Washington, Executive Chairman, Roha Medical Campus. Great to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
So I know you've recently announced a fresh investment for a major new advanced hospital in Ethiopia. How much has been invested and what is the plan for further investment?
So Roha Medical Campus is a large-scale healthcare development in Addis Ababa, targeting both local and international tourism, medical tourism. We've invested just $42 million, which is has been just announced, and actually have put in over $50 million at this point. This is the first investment towards a $130 million first phase that will build a hospital that has 350 beds for advanced medical specialties, serving, again, the Ethiopian local patients as well as international patients. And then also eventually building an entire medical campus with an additional $200 million worth of investment expected in the next few years.
And definitely, when you hear about investing, in the health sector, I'm wondering, how will investors earn a return from investing in a hospital?
As you just mentioned, there's already significant spend on healthcare in Africa, across the continent, in Ethiopia. One of the issues, though, is that there are very few large-scale private institutions. And so you have the demand there, but it's not being efficiently met. And so we're quite confident that once we efficiently meet that demand with high quality, best-in-class global operations, a cutting-edge hospital, that then we can get to a sustainable level of profitability. And that allows us to have high-quality, affordable care, but also to maintain a profitable hospital that can continue into perpetuity and, of course, deliver returns for investors.
And with this kind of investment, I guess one would need some kind of patient capital, right? But how patient does this capital have to be?
Well, I'm not sure it needs to be so patient. I think that there's good, around the world, investors are making money on private healthcare, and I don't think that Africa is any different. And so I think that from an equity perspective, I think that, again, operationally efficient hospital can deliver very strong investor returns. And on the continent, the demand is significant. Again, to refer to your number, I guess $40 billion, Nigerians have spent, Africans are estimated to spend $5 billion a year on outbound medical tourism. That includes hotels, everything. And so there's, significant money and resources at play. There's significant demand for high quality healthcare. And so, from a pure business perspective, I think that the healthcare business can be quite attractive while still having, enormous social impact, enormous healthcare impact, and providing affordable prices. We are also, we'll have quite a lot of debt associated with this hospital, and that will be a longer term debt. At the end of the day, this is a greenfield project, building a 40,000 square meter building, which takes a few years and will take a bit longer to pay back. And I think that that's where patient capital can come in. I think that having debt providers that are willing to look long term is important, as well as equity providers who, patience is relative. Aren't going to get their money back overnight, but hopefully won't have to wait until the next generation as well.
Yeah, definitely don't want to wait till the next generation. but how will this hospital address local health needs in Ethiopia while also catering to African health tourism?
So our target is to have affordable care. And so the care affordability is really, if you look around the world, India is a global benchmark in terms of having high quality, affordable care. And I think that that is really, the price levels that we're targeting. And I think that if you look at what they do, again, it comes down to efficiency. And so for us, having a hospital that is able to serve patients efficiently, that works 24/7 to make sure that we can get the most out of every single element of the hospital is really important. And what we plan is to have about 75% of the patients be from Ethiopia. There's a high need for improved healthcare in Ethiopia, and then the balance, about 25% from outside of Ethiopia, from other parts of Africa. Ethiopia already sees actually medical tourism from some of its neighbors. And with Ethiopian Airlines, there's a real clear platform for bringing in medical tourists from across the continent. And so that's the path. What's really important to us, though, is healthcare is just, a critical basic need for any person, for any society. And so, we expect this to be, one of the best hospitals in Africa, the best hospital in Ethiopia. And so it's important for us that we make sure that the services are available to a broad range of patients. And so we've agreed with the government that we will actually see about 10% of our patients from the public sector at public sector rates. And that's a core part of our business plan. So, that's our way of contributing and making sure it's accessible to all.
Fantastic. I wish you guys the very best. And hopefully at some point, other continents can come to Africa for medical tourism. That would be great for us. Thank you.
I certainly think it's possible. And this is the first step in that direction.
Right. Thank you so much for coming on, Brooks Washington, Executive Chairman at Roha Medical Campus. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.